Welcome back to Talk Local. I'm your host, Urs here. We're talking to John McClelland and Jagtar Shergill about auto insurance premiums and why they're so high. John McClelland, McClelland Insurance, and Jagtar Shergill from Able Insurance, bringing some key points and key issues about why insurance rates are high. And we talked a lot about fraud. We talked about bad drivers, and we talked about government. But let's talk about more on a positive spin. So, everyone wants to pay lower insurance rates. How can we bring those insurance rates down?
So one thing that I'm very interested in is something new that's called usage-based insurance, or UBI, and telematics. So telematics they get because it basically measures driving habits in the car and sends it off to your broker and insurance company. So as I mentioned earlier in one of the earlier segments, the companies don't have very good information for judging who's a good driver and who's a bad driver. So they use things like driving experience and how often you say you're driving and what kind of car. So this will help them zone in a bit more on who's a good driver and who's a bad driver. So some important points. This is coming to Ontario, and brokers are going to start offering it as early as April of this coming year. It's not going to be used to surcharge bad drivers. The regulators have really put their foot down with that, so people don't have to be worried about that. But as the regulation stands right now, they'll be able to save up to 15% if they're a good driver and their driving habits are good on this device. It's not for everyone. I think a lot of people might not want to use something like that. So it won't
penalize you if you are a bad driver?
It won't, no. They've promised, and the regulators won't let them.
I'm not laughing because I'm a bad driver.
Would you put one in your car?
I think it would make me a better driver.
There you go. Maybe there's another selling feature, especially for adults with kids driving the cars.
Are we expecting a lot of people just running after this?
I don't think so, but I think I think it will slowly grow. I think especially in a place like Brampton where insurance is so expensive and people are always asking, what can I do? I'll do anything to lower my rates. Maybe that's a good option for them. They've had it in Great Britain for a while, for example, and they have up to, they're predicting for Ontario that eventually up to 30% of people within 10 years or something will be using these devices. And an important point too with the broker option that is going to be made available is that the data isn't going to be sent directly to the insurance companies, so they're not going to get to know everything about your car and what it's doing. The broker is going to be involved in that, and they're only going to get to see what the regulators say they need to see to give the rates.